Sony fanboys are the most ridiculous people on the planet. Oh, yes, they're using Amazon, which famously has their games and movies cheaper than on any other platform. Yeah, if you go on Amazon, you could really, I bet if you go on Amazon UK right now, you could probably find Nintendo games cheaper than the actual suggested price that Nintendo puts out. Because usually Amazon, they try to make it, well, they're the cheapest platform to buy certain games as well. You can actually look at actual retail stores to see how expensive it is. The Last of Us, and of course you have Mario Kart as well here for physical here. And yeah, the thing is, Mario Kart's not even out yet, and they're already whining about Mario Kart World. Sony fanboys out, okay? First of all, Mario Kart World's not even out yet as well in the UK. Also, The Last of Us has been out since 2013. And when The Last of Us Part 2 came out, they charged basically like the equivalent to the same price as Mario Kart World to replay, so you can replay The Last of Us Part 1 with slightly better graphics. And also, these people always tend to forget the fact that Sony tried to charge, just very recently, $110 for The Last of Us Part 1 and 2, which, again, Last of Us Part 2 is basically a garbage game, so you're basically just paying for The Last of Us Part 1 again. $400 for a steelbook version. $110 for a freaking steelbook copy. Okay, like, it's just so Sony's absolute greed, like, when it comes to games, okay, like, as well. And I think The Last of Us Part 1 on, digital on the PS5, I think is still $70. Or they probably reduce this for like 50 or 60 as well. But why are the more, cheaper games selling so well, okay? If you compare it to like Oblivion or Cloud Obscuria, then that would make sense because those are actually just cheaper games than The Last of Us Part 1. But you gotta realize The Last of Us, they were selling The Last of Us for like $70 to $80 at once. I know it varies, but I know prices vary by country. Some countries they'll charge you for like 100 and like Canada or something as well here. And they're saying, why is Nintendo so anti-consumer? You know what? What did we tell you something about video games before the Nintendo Switch 2 came out? And even before the PS5 and Xbox Series X came out. Every game was $60. Sony and EA were so greedy, and NBA and of course Activision Blizzard, but Sony was so greedy. Okay, so but we gotta make $70 games. Why? Because we're greedy. We're selfish. Okay, absolutely ridiculous that these people are defending. These are the same people who were completely silent about when Sony raised games to $70. I was the only one that criticized Sony for doing this, but everyone else, they were silent. All the big YouTubers were silent. They were silent. They didn't say anything about it because you know why? Because they get fucking free review copies. That's the reason why they're not gonna complain. Because they get fucking copies of games for free because they're a YouTuber. Because they were sponsored to play that game. I'm not sponsored to play any games. Okay, so I have to pay full price if I buy a piece. So I would have to buy $500 because I don't have a PS5. I have to buy $500 for a PS5. Okay, as well because $400 to $500 for a PS5, depending on which version of PS5 you get. And if you want a PS5 Pro, it's like $700 as well. And you have to pay another $40 to $70 for The Last of Us Part 1. So, as well, for $70 or $70 for, okay, let's just say the Stellar Blade. That game's also $70, or Spider-Man 2. Okay, you have to pay $70 for each game if you want to play each game in order to play them on my YouTube channel. Okay, that is a massive waste of money. Okay, just to for FOMO, for fear of missing out. Okay, as well. I've never really bought any games for $70. As well. Okay. Because it's a massive waste of money to buy a game for $30. We can just wait a couple months for it to go down in price and wait for that much. But you'll be missing out. No, well, I don't give a crap. Okay, I don't give a crap. Okay, you guys were completely fucking silent when Sony raised games for $30. Okay, all the big YouTube because they get fucking review copies anyways. That's the whole reason why they were silent. Okay. That's the whole reason why they were silent. Okay, Sony fanboys even defend this choice, but saying, but games are getting more, but game development costs are getting more expensive. That's the main excuse for Sony fanboys as well. So Sony really caused this domino effect to fall. But no, Nintendo is not a villain of all gaming industry. Not Sony. Sony is completely innocent. Goodbye.